Now, Director General Villanueva, you testified earlier that before the raid, parang you had like 3 months na surveillance sa kay Alan C, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Alan C and yung isa pang place
Alex Kim and other personalities like Jed Pilapil and John Pilapil, Mr. Chair.
Jed Pilapil C is the wife, correct?
Yes, Mr.
So
Chair.
you included her in the surveillance because she was the wife of Alan C.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You also had surveillance conducted dun sa other place na sinurrender din, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano ngayon? Anong tawag dun sa place na yun?
In Agdao, where thousands of CPEX, controlled precursors and essential chemicals, were found, and also at Bunawan, where
Bunawan.
the foam factory owned by Alan C., where Jong Pilapil and Alex Kim is working in the Bunawan Polytex, the foam factory.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Mr.
remember
Chair.
that, sir. Kasi we were, I think, part of when we met, we turning over that facility pa.
Yes, Mr.
Now,
Chair.
you conducted surveillance on the foam factory because it was one of the businesses of Alan C.
We conducted surveillance because we were already tailing Alex Kim. And Alex Kim was frequenting on that Polytex foam factory, Mr. Chair.
So sinusundan niyo lang.
Talaga sinusundan. Meron na talagang team na naka-assign kila Alex Kim, Jed Pilapil, Jong Pilapil, and Alan C., Mr. Chair.
And if I remember it correctly, parang sa wall na to, sa foam factory na to, may parang treehouse dun eh. Parang doon ata naka-station yung mga ahente nyo ata or something.
Yes, Mr. Chair, may kwento po doon. October 31, and then November 1 kinabukasan. Yung kinakandakan namin na survey ng casing, sementeryo yon, Mr. Chair. So talagang doon talaga nakatambay yung mga tao. There were times na pinaglilinis pa sila, sir, ng pansyon ng ibang tao dahil they thought na trabahante yung mga tao. So it was during that time that we were able to get footages, videotape of Alex Kim and Jong Pilapil in the foam factory.
Yung Pilapil is the brother
of
Jed C.
Jed Pilapil,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
And they were included in the surveillance technically because they were part of the circle of Alan C. Correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So meaning Alan C. was related to Jed Pilapil. Jed Pilapil was frequenting the same business of Alan C. And who's the other guy? Ano? Kim?
Alex Kim.
What is his role in this? Ano?
Alex Kim is the operator. Actually, siya talaga yung main chemist doon sa laboratory, Mr. Chair.
Okay, being the chemist, what was he doing in the foam factory, if you know?
Mr. Chair, kasi hindi, during that time, umabot lang doon siya doon sa foam factory, but we still don't have any pieces of evidence na merong anomalya doon sa foam factory. Until when we raided through a search warrant doon sa Bunawan foam factory, that we were able to find a
Air scrubber.
air scrubber.
I remember.
And that air scrubber is for industrial use of manufacture of for the clandestine laboratory operation, manufacture of methamphetamine, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, in the raid sa Dumoy mismo, di ba there were 6 Chinese that were killed?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because from your statement in the previous hearings, you said na they fought back, no?
Yes,
Some were
Mr.
armed, some were not armed, but in a drug state daw, sabi mo, he was fighting with one of
Yes,
your
Mr.
agents,
Chair.
correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, were there only 6 persons there in that Dumoy factory?
Maraming tao doon na naglalabas-pasok, but during the time na nagkanda kami ng raid, anim lang yung taong naandun, Mr. Chair. And all of them were doon sa laboratory mismo,
In
doing
several
their own thing in the
different areas, di ba? Of the
yes,
factory.
in the laboratory itself.
I'm asking this, DG, because of the affidavit of, I think, Las Cañas ba yun? That there were 11 other persons who were arrested in that Dumoy factory. What is your comment to that po?
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, hindi ko nga alam paano pumasok sa kwento to si Las Cañas eh.
Ah.
Kasi Mr. Chair, hindi ko nakita yung mukha niya eh. Ever since.
But wasn't his unit part of the...
No, Mr. Chair.
Hindi naman.
Hindi ko nakita ang pagmumukha niya si Las Cañas and I don't know him. Hindi ko nga alam kung paano siya pumasok sa kwento.
Now,
Yun, Mr. Chair.
okay. Now, in his affidavit kasi, he mentioned na there were 11 other people that were turned over to him ata or something for parang liquidation or something like that. No, and you said that there were no other persons there.
No idea, Mr. Chair.
There were only 6 that were killed.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And there were no other persons arrested or
None in the laboratory, Mr.
none
Chair.
in the laboratory.
Yes.
Now, another question is this. What happened to Alan C?
He was not there.
He was not there.
During the time of the raid, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
he was not there.
Was he also in Bunawan?
We don't know.
You don't know.
Because our focus is in the laboratory. That's why immediately after taking care of, after all the inventories conducted, we proceeded immediately dun sa Arlene apartment. That is
Where
when-
he was residing.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yun nga yung statement ni Jed Pilapil na hinahanap namin doon si Alan C.
Okay. Now, so, raid kayo ng Dumoy, 6 patay. Raid kayo doon sa Bunawan, you found the air scrubbers and arrested other people. After that, do you know what happened to Alan C?
We conducted manhunt on him, Mr. Chair, including Johnson Chua. Kasi we believe that Johnson Chua is the one really in charge of yung financing and logistics of that laboratory.
Okay.
Hindi namin, we believe na nakalabas na sa Pilipinas, Mr. Chair.
Sa memory mo, sir, how long did you look for Alan C?
Habang naandun ako sa, because I was assigned in Davao City from 1995 until 2007, Mr. Chair. Until I left Davao City, we were looking for Johnson Chua and Alan C.
Yeah, pero where did this search for Alan C lead you? Wala.
Yun nga, sir. We conducted manhunt on him, pero negative, futile, Mr. Chair.
So, the reports or the insinuations that Alan C was also killed summarily, walang
I
katotohanan
don't
yan.
have idea, Mr. Chair.
You don't have an idea because you were still looking for him officially.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because officially, you have not arrested or caught him or he is not one of the 6 that were eliminated in the Dumoy factory.
Yes,
Correct?
Mr. Chair.
So, technically, the investigation as far as Alan C. was concerned was continuing.
Yes,
Para
Mr.
sa'yo.
Chair. He was even included in the case that we filed in court. He and Johnson Chua, Mr. Chair.
Sir, in the 3 months that you conducted this surveillance on Alan C. and several other key personalities of this Dumoy raid, no? Would you say that it was extensive ang pag-surveil ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you say that it was covered all bases po para sigurado kayong okay yung investigation ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Although konti lang talaga ang personnel ng PIDEA Regional Office 11, nagpatulong talaga kami sa police, particularly sa PACER, at kasama naman namin, sir, yung isang team ng EDSOT under Colonel Asherto. So talagang nag-divide kami ng personalities, Mr. Chair, para tutukan talaga. Mr. Chair, just to emphasize, meron pa nga one of the, kasi every 6 o'clock in the morning ang palitan namin ng surveillance team on each and every persons of interest. There was a time na 5:30 galing sa Dumoy, 5:30 ng umaga, umalis, sir, yung isang incheck. So sinundan ng mga tao natin, dumiretso, sir, sa Cagayan de Oro. So wala na magawa yung tao natin, but dumiretso rin sa Cagayan de Oro.
To tail him.
Yeah, to tail him kasi baka mawala eh.
So, ganun ka-extensive yung
Yes,
investigation
Mr. Chair.
ninyo. Now, question. If ganun ka-extensive yung investigation ninyo, bakit hindi nyo in-include sa investigation ninyo si Michael Yang? When you already knew at that time that Alan C. had a business with Michael Yang.
Mr. Chair, kasi nga, walang Michael Yang na lumalabas dun sa initial investigation, sa initial intelligence namin, Mr. Chair.
I get that, sir. You already testified to that before. Ang question ko lang kasi, sinundan niyo siya sa Bunawan kasi may foam factory siya doon. Bakit hindi niyo siya sinundan sa DCLA? May business din siya doon eh. And Jed C. testified that Alan C. had several meetings with Michael Yang.
Mr. Chair, hindi naman lahat ng tao, although maraming tao talaga kaming kinonsider, hindi naman lahat ng tao, tututukan natin. Ang dealing with Michael Yang during that time, as stated by Jed Pilapil, is that magkatabi sila ng Si Michael Yang ang may-ari ng commercial building, kung saan doon nagbebenta ng foam, ng foam,
Si
sila Jed
Alan C.
Pilapil. Yes, Mr. Chair. So, hindi naman lahat dapat nating puntahan. Since Michael Yang is not included in the investigation, so sayang yung tao namin na idadala kay Michael Yang kesa sa ipa-follow up namin yung ibang personalities.
I'm asking that, sir. Kaya nga, tinanong kita kanina kung how extensive was the surveillance. Sabi niyo extensive. In fact, sinundan niyo pa to Cagayan de Oro. I mean, the fact that you send someone to Cagayan de Oro to tail a person and not question someone within the city, parang doon ako patungo, sir. I hope you understand,
Yes,
no?
yes, Mr.
So why not? Why wasn't there an investigation on Michael
Hindi
Yang?
kasi kilala si Michael Yang during that time, Mr. Chair. Hindi kilala talaga si Michael
Hindi
Yang
kilala
during
in
that
the
time.
sense na connected to drugs or something like that.
Anything.
Or connected to illegal activities.
Anything,
Nothing like
Mr.
that.
Chair. Wala talaga, hindi talaga kilala. Kasi kung kilala siya, Mr. Chair, talagang inoperate
Sisilipin niyo rin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Okay. How about yung Bunawan? Was it connected to any illegal activities? The foam factory?
Michael Yang, Mr. Chair.
No, Alan C.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But you only found out about the scrubbers after you raided it, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But prior to that, was
Alam
there
namin na foam
Na-
factory niya yon, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. Kasi nga, nagbebenta siya ng...
Kaya nga, if you will let me finish ba, prior to the raid, was there any illegal activity going on in the foam factory?
Nag-prioritize kami, Mr. Chair, kasi during that time,
Yes or no lang, sir?
yes, kasi yung gusto ko lang makita ng committee, yung point of thinking ko
Go
during
ahead
that
po.
time.
Sige.
Marami na kaming areas of interest. Pero, nakunan kasi namin ng actual video, Mr. Chair, yung Dumoy Laboratory na talaga nagmamanufacture doon.
Right.
So, stop muna kami sa iba, doon kami nag-prioritize, Mr. Chair, sa Dumoy Laboratory.
Dumoy. Yeah, ang tanong ko po is bakit nyo in-include ang foam factory kung sa tingin nyo wala naman kayong illegal activities na nakita prior to the raid?
Na andun, sir, namin nakita si Alex Kim.
Si Alex Kim.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yun yung chief chemist nung laboratory.
Okay, so you're saying that what triggered your interest in the Bunawan Foam Factory was the presence of Alex Kim.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So without the presence of Alex Kim, you would not have dug
Pinabayaan
deeper
namin
into
yun,
the
sir.
Bunawan Foam Factory.
Yes,
Tama
Mr.
po ba?
Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, last na lang, no? Ito lang ang question ko lang is, itong kay Alan C., no? If he was the key figure in this Dumoy raid, but parang it stopped after the Dumoy raid? Parang you don't hear of Alan C. after that eh. You know, even if you said that there was a manhunt that was conducted, parang nawala eh. No? I mean, tama po ba?
Yes. We filed a case against them, Johnson Chua and Alan C. Pero wala nga dun sa area eh. So we believe na, sandali, nakatakas na to. But still, ginagamit pa rin namin yung intelligence community to look for him, Mr. Chair.
My point kasi, sir, is in a form of manifestation. It's like, if Alan C. was a key figure in this Dumoy raid, and that Dumoy raid was very significant because it's the first in Davao eh, na ganun kalaki na Shabu Factory, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ako, sa tingin ko, there should have been more noise in looking for this guy eh. Kasi central figure siya eh sa nangyari sa Dumoy eh. So, the fact na parang biglang nawala din yung interest on Alan C. After it, parang it raises some questions, no? Na is there truth to the insinuation or the allegations of some other people that Alan C. and et al. Were actually killed after the operations in Dumoy? Kaya parang wala nang naririnig about them after the Dumoy raid?
I have no idea about that, Mr. Chair.
So any comment on that manifestation?
We exerted effort, Mr. Chair, to look for them. Kaya lang yun nga, regional director lang ako ng Region 11 eh. And most probably, whole Philippines na yung gagalawan niya eh. So really,
To get away from you?
yes, kasama nga namin si Colonel Acherto, Mr. Chair eh. And the EDSOT is the key team for the Philippine National Police. Kaya nga sabi namin na kung may maitutulong, di sa PNP na natin. Kasi limited talagang ang tao namin sa PDEA, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, DG Villanueva. To the current PIDEA, sir, do you have any idea what happened to Alan C. after the Dumoy raid?
We do not have information regarding Alan C, sir.
So do you have information on what PIDEA Region 11 did to look for Alan C. after the Dumoy raid? Walang mga reports ba na...
As we have said, sir, we have only the spot report and we have the, again, sir, correct, I'm standing corrected. We have the Blatter report on January
yun lang.
of 2004 and 2005.
So that's the only file that you have as far as the Dumoy raid is concerned?
That is what we have only, sir.
Okay, how about the other agencies that were involved in that raid? Did they furnish PIDEA with a copy of their own respective reports?
Only the PNP, sir, has reported to us. Only the Region 11 PDEA reported to the national headquarters, sir.
Wala nang other agencies like yung mga sinabi ni DG Villanueva kanina na kasama nila.
No report for PDEA, sir.
No report whatsoever. Okay, so thank you, DG. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Flores. Before we continue, may we ask the two co-chairs of the Quad Committee to return to your seats? And ikaw na? Ikaw na? Ikaw na? Wala. Okay, we have another witness who actually volunteered information to this committee on the issue of the extrajudicial killings. He is Mr. Joel Sarmenta. You're here, no, Mr. Sarmenta. He is, or he was the former consultant of the CHR chairman Chito Gascon, no, correct? And he brought with him a witness, Miss Marisa Hamoy, the mother of Darwin Hamoy, a minor who was killed during the past administration's drug war, known as the Payatas Birthday Massacre. And we'd like to hear his story and see what legislation we can produce out of the story of Miss Marisa Hamoy. So before that, we'd like to acknowledge Mr. Sarmenta. Mr. Sarmenta, do you have an opening statement?
In a minute.
By the way, before that, since you're going to deliver a statement and appear before this committee, may we ask you to take your oath, including Miss Marisa Hamoy? Pwede po ba tayong sumumpa? Comsec, please administer the oath of our
Please stand.
new witnesses.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this congressional inquiry, so God will help you? Thank you. The oath has been administered, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Sarmenta, can you please proceed?
Having had the golden opportunity to serve the late Chito Gascon as his consultant for communications starting in early 2016, I coordinated when the war on drugs started with at least 40 international news teams or international reporters doing stories on the EJ case of war on drugs. Not once did any one of them get back to me after doing their coverage saying, it's not as bad as it seems, or with I understand why this has to be done. All of them were always more appalled, more outraged compared to the day they arrived at our airport named after someone assassinated on its tarmac. A female reporter from Europe who often goes to war zones once asked me why is it that in this country the police can return to the same neighborhood the next day after killing a civilian in that neighborhood, compared to other nations where she has reported from, where it takes weeks before a police can patrol the same place where a civilian was killed. Kasi nga po, babatuhin sila or whatever. During war on drugs, I met many individuals with courage and fortitude. Sadly, one of the first I met, Hara Kazu of the Pasay PNP Bertes father-son slay, inside the Pasay PNP SDEU on July 7, 2016, badly wants to come today, but her poor health prevents her from coming. Sadly, Hara now has breast cancer. Hara was the first. She would like to request of the committee if she can give a video testimony. Hara was one of the, so ito pong mga needs, basically what I present, some of the things I'm presenting now is merely just based on my paper, no, which is about another kind of nanlaban. What happens to the victims after nanlaban sila legally and actually lalamunin ka ng sistema. Nothing will happen to your effort to find justice. So that's another angle, no, that I think we should take a look at the lawfare, the law that is happening against the victims. Wala silang nahahanap na talagang ano. Now, Hara was the first EJK widow to speak in the 2016 Senate Justice Committee investigations. During those hearings, then PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa presented the two shooter cops to the Senate. Nandun mismo sa Senate and promised a quick resolution. Pasay RTC released, so hindi naman po nahuli yung judicial ano, Pasay RTC released a warrant of arrest by first quarter of 2017. But then nothing, totally nothing. Even after Hara herself bumped into one of the cops on the street, and I went quickly to the NCRPO chief then, General Guillermo Elazar, to report. So, wala pa rin. Pero si biktima nakikita. But PNP claims, hindi makita, ang gagaling nila magtago. So, soon after that meeting on the street, a year or so after, the RTC archived the warrants. Nothing happened until, take note, November 2024, when Hara herself told me she's had some scuttlebutt that one of the cops, PO2 Alipio Balo, might be incarcerated. My own networks confirmed he was indeed in the Pasay City Jail for shooting someone else. So isa pa po yun na hindi, kung ginawa lang sana yung paghahanap or ginawa talaga yung pag-aresto, hindi na sana may iba pang nabaril. Hindi yata po EJK yung itong second biktima. The CHR has confirmed that he is indeed incarcerated there. So why did it take so many years of shooting and then the shooting of another victim for Alipio Balo to be behind bars? So I think I would like to ask the body to demand Pasay PNP and NCRPO investigate this and provide proof that Balo was not receiving his PNP pay after second quarter of 2017. Kasi I have a suspicion he still was. It saddens me that this war gave free rein to so many elements and hardly any guardrails established, even if cases like the Bertes double slay had been clear warning signals early on. Very early, July 7 pa po to, no? I was at the Senate on October 28, 2024 for the Blue Ribbon hearing, and because I brought the invited EJK widow Cristina Gonzalez of Antipolo. Sadly, a few of the senators began berating her for not filing, and Gonzalez got intimidated and did not correct them and let the truth out. Her very own case for a protection order already has decisions from the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court deciding on August 22, 2022. No? All decisions by the High Court were in favor of Cristina Gonzalez, and all noted that the death of Joselito Gonzalez is an EJK and must be investigated. To this very day, no investigation has been initiated by any of the bodies who could do investigations. So may High Court decision ka na, yung pwede naman mag-imbestiga, hindi naman kumikilos. Why? No? Bakit ganun? There's even a duplicity in this, no? Because once the Supreme Court announced that, actually, the state submitted that to the ICC, claiming that this is a sign that the victims can get, and the ICC rebuffed, no, this effort by saying, no, that's not even a criminal investigation. And the whole, how dubious this whole thing is that soon after, they filed again another motion for reconsideration. Pinagmalaki sa ICC na ito daw yung ano, tapos mamaya-maya, hindi nakuha yung gusto, may motion for reconsideration na naman, na ifa-file about the protection order. Gaano ba dangerous itong si Cristina Gonzales na talagang aanuhin na huwag magkaroon ng protection order. The lawyers, unfortunately, she's not here today, but the lawyers, Dargon Law Office, who represent her as well as Marisa are here. No? So, monitoring these cases and regularly meeting at the affected families is an advocacy I do. No? And I stopped being with, so I'm not exactly a professional person doing this, and I stopped being with CHR when I went to Myanmar in 2018 and taught there for a year. No? So in August of 2024, I presented the paper which I had submitted on the 7th International Conference of Human Rights, no, in Malang City, East Java, Indonesia. No? And that's where I put all this. My main reason for writing the paper is also to show that, kasi ang laging sinasabi, hindi naman nagpa-file yung victims. Hindi raw nagpa-file. And then as if the system is working, and they're always just talking about the Kian de los Santos case and the Arnaiz case. Dalawa lang naman yung babanggit nilang natatapos. So, ano ba talaga? No? And then lastly, I'd just like to say, I think we should also look at the point of, and I think Marisa's case is a clear example that, yes, meron nga mga violations of the right to life, meron din napakalaki rin yung violations of the equality before the law. Nababaril ang mga tao, walang warrant, walang kung ano-ano, walang ano-ano, and yet, the people who should be investigated for doing those things, ang daming kiniklaim na kailangan nila ng ganitong protection from the law, etc. etc. It's twisted.
So,
yun lang po.
if I may ask, Joel, no, Mr. Sarmenta, ang suspect doon sa pagpatay doon sa anak ni Marisa ay member ng Philippine National Police?
Yes, sir. These are I think she can discuss it, and the lawyers also more. These are unfortunately right here, because Marisa is from Payatas, and this is in short QCPD Station 6.
So, pwede ba nating marinig ang
Yes,
kwento ni Marisa?
I often bring that up po na how can there be a police station which kills 100 people in a year's time, and there's no investigation why that.
So, how many people were killed in Payatas alone?
Station 6 po, their whole area of responsibility 100. Umabot po ng 100.
So, ang area is only Station 6.
Yes.
Yung Station 6, yan yung Payatas.
Yes, and in the first year of the Duterte administration, lumampas po ng, I think it's 102 or 100.
102 ang namatay.
Killed by the PNP of Station 6.
Okay. At ito ay related sa drugs.
Yes, and
Ang
in the
mga suspect ay, ang mga biktima ay, mga drug dependents, pushers.
yes, and in Marisa's case po, there was only one who was really wanted and as listed in the pre-operations report, but 5 were killed. So,
Okay. So, pwede ba natin marinig ang
Yes.
kwento ni Marisa? Marisa, ang iyong anak ang biktima dito, no?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Pwede bang malaman kung ilang taon ang iyong anak?
Ay, 17 years old po.
So, 17 years old siya. Siya ba ay kasama sa drugs watch list ng Quezon City Police?
Hindi po.
How about sa PIDEA? Nandun din ba siya? Wala siya. So, wala siyang history na siya ay gumagamit o siya ay na-involved sa pagbibenta.
Wala po. No record po siya sa barangay ng Payatas.
So, walang record.
Wala po.
So, pwede bang malaman paano nangyari yung insidente?
Yung,
Kung okay lang sa iyo, kung okay lang sa iyo.
yung time na po yung nangyari po, bali, head po ako,
Pakilapit mo lang yung mic sa ano, ha?
head po ako ng street sweeper po ng Payatas. May tao po akong namatay yung asawa, nagbigil po kami. Bali, Sampaguita Extension po, bundok kasi yun. Nagpaalam siya sa akin, bababa doon sa baba kasi may birthday case. Ang nangyari doon, tinawag siya doon sa kang Sherwin Pulo na nakalista sa watchlist sa Barangay Payatas. Inutusan siya na pinabili ng sigarilyo. Pagdating doon, pagkatapos niyang biling sigarilyo, bumalik doon sa bahay. Si kang Sherwin, yun nangyari ng putukan na doon po siya namatay po sa loob ng bahay. Mayroon pong survivor na si Harold Alvaro, 8 years na hanggang ngayon hindi na-imbestiga po siya. Siya po ang buhay. Ang kasong nang nalagay sa kanya, direct assault.
Kinasuhan, siya ang kinasuhan.
Opo, yung survivor po na isa.
Okay,
Bali lima
so-
sila, 4 ang patay.
General Salvador, I don't know kung pwede nating itanong dun sa station, ano yan? Station 6?
Station 6 po.
O na until now, 8 years ago, the incident happened and until now, wala pang investigation na ginagawa.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, we will look into this. We will check the record, Your Honor.
Okay, salamat. Thank you. So, sige, Mr. Sarmiento.
Regarding Harold Arevalo po, actually he was acquitted on November 17, 2017 for the direct assault charge, which therefore belies the claim na nanlaban. So, and further decisions po by Ombudsman, and also, by the way, this case involves a decision from the Office of the President, which was released on May 25, 2022, before Mr. Duterte stepped down.
Okay.
So about this case. And they all ignore this decision
Sige.
by the MTC of QC as
Okay.
if it doesn't exist, na si Harold Arevalo po ay naging acquitted. Kaya I think we would like to ask the body if he could be subpoenaed to appear, because anyway, no one has ever talked to him.
Okay, siguro what we can do, kasi first time pa lang namin narinig yung kwentong yan, no? And tama-tama, andito ang ating Philippine National Police na pwede nating hingian ng assistance tungkol dyan kung bakit hanggang ngayon, 8 years after the incident, ay wala pa rin investigation na ginagawa.